Hello everyone, it is week 6 of working on my internship at Buckle. It was a really good week this week. I worked a lot of hours. Saturday I worked I think 1 to 8:30, and then Sunday I worked 12 to 5. So for the 8-hour shift on Saturday, that was my very first time ever closing. So I learned a lot about how, like, there was this thing where you had to basically go through the store, and people that had did like pre-orders, or people that ordered stuff from like the Bristol Buckle or the Knoxville Buckle, we would have to go through the store and like find these pieces of clothes. But there's so many clothes in Buckle, and it was extremely hard to kind of like figure out and pinpoint where each item was, especially when there's only one of that item out of like hundreds and hundreds of clothes and jeans and different denims. So that was really, really difficult. And then after we got the clothes, we had to fold them, put them in a package, print out 2 receipts, put one in the bag, and then put one on the outside of the bag and put it in a bin. And then we had to do that for multiple pieces. So that was really interesting and cool to learn. And also, I'm learning how to do store stats now since I'm doing a project with Hidden Jeans. So basically, every day I come in, I have to check the stats on Hidden and see how well they're selling, how they're selling compared to last year, how they're selling compared to other stores, what kinds are selling, just all the different, well, not what kind of, like, each particular jean is selling, but just understanding and seeing how well we do every day, what days we do better on, just all of the analytics behind the selling of that particular jean company. So that's been really, really interesting and fun too, because I also have to make sales like tactics and pitches, and I also have to teach my team those same pitches. So it's been really cool understanding like what kind of people like Hidden Jeans. And it's usually been the younger crowds, a little bit of the older crowds, like their BKEs, their Levi's, their Vervettes. They tend to go towards more of those rather than Hidden, because Hidden is seen as trendy, and a lot of people don't see themselves as trendy. So we've been told to stop using that word, since it can kind of off-put the jeans. And when you be like, oh, these jeans are trendy, you'd think like, oh, they want to buy them. But when they're a little bit more in the like more mature category, it actually kind of turns them off when they hear the word trending, because they think that they'll look too young, they might look silly, that they're not trending, so they don't need these jeans because it's not going to match anything in their closet, because nothing in their closet's trending. So it's really cool how like using certain keywords can help sell it. I like to use the words versatile, stretchy, and comfortable. Those really help with a little bit more of the older demographics. When it's a young girl or guy, well, girl, because they only make girl jeans, it's really easy, because you just have to be like, oh my gosh, these are so trending, and they're immediately into the jean. So that's been really, really interesting to kind of maneuver around. And then it says, describe this week's activities. I did. That was kind of like what I did. And then I did the normal stuff, helped people, helped clients. Buckle really prides themselves on being personal, and really they're very personal selling. So in some stores you walk in and they say, welcome in. They don't let us, we can't say that. We can't say welcome in. We have to greet them, ask them how their day was, where you're from, where are you coming from, what are you doing, why are you in the store, like, what are we shopping for today? And even some people like it and some people do not like it, and it's really hard to like not get your feelings kind of hurt sometimes, and people are just like please, like, leave me alone, because you want to make that sell and also make that connection. So that's been an interesting balance, and also like learning how to not get so upset or my feelings hurt when you kind of get like shut down. So that's also been a struggle, but that's sales. Evaluate your on-the-job performance this week. I feel like I did really, really good. The 2 days that I did work, I worked a long time, and I would say the hardest thing is kind of keeping that same attitude from when I walked in to when I walk out. It's really hard because you get so tired. So, when I first get there, I'm killing it. I'm making good sales. I'm making good connections for the most part. And then as the day goes on, I kind of lower in my energy, and I'm just not as strong as I was, and I kind of get a little clouded in my brain. So, I'm not asking those same questions that I want to be, or really, it's just really difficult to always have that sales attitude for so long, 8 hours a day. So I can always tell that I make the majority of my sales when I kind of you kind of peak in your day. So that's been really hard it's aggravating because you want to give 100% the whole time, but you've just been there so long, and you're kind of like burnt out because you've done 10 pitches already and they went well or didn't go well. So, but other than that, I thought it did really well. How does your internship experience differ from your original expectations? Honestly, this is my first retail job, so my expectations were pretty open. I really didn't know what I was kind of getting myself into or what I was expecting, but there is a lot more behind the scenes than I guess I did think of. A lot of different rules that we have to learn, and one thing that actually was not expecting is we had someone come in and we saw them steal a wallet, and they actually were just at Palmetto Moon before our store and stole a crap ton of t-shirts, and she shoved them in her purse, and the Palmetto Moon manager came in and was like, hey, I'm going to confront this lady. Will you get your manager for me? So I ran back and I grabbed Chelsea and I was like, hey, I don't know what to do. This guy's saying that there's a customer in here that stole a bunch of merchandise from Palmetto Moon, and I was like, this, I don't know what to say or do, so can you please go handle this? So she went and talked to him, and by the time another manager had already helped him, and he started literally grabbing the stuff out of her purse, yanking out of her purse, and he was like, don't ever come back into my store, don't ever come back in the mall, just totally this whole very heated conversation. And she had stolen one of our wallets, and one of my managers, Michelle, was like, I see that, that's our wallet, give me that wallet. So she hands it to her, just the plastic, not the plastic part, but the cardboard part that it comes in, upside down. And she flipped it over and she's like, well, there's no wallet in this. And then she grabbed in her bag, and I'm pretty sure she grabbed the wallet out. It was just wild. And I had never seen something like that before. And then Chelsea calls the cops, and then I was just told to smile and still greet people and just do my job and act like nothing's happening. But it's hard when, that's, I don't know, you just don't see that every day. So that was very interesting. And also learning that some stores can call the cops and some stores can't call the cops. And Buckle can call the cops if we see people stealing stuff. So anyway, what questions do you plan to ask or things you plan to do next week? I kind of am ready to grow more on the guy side. I feel like I do really well on the girls. I'm really good at talking to girls and middle-aged women. I perform well. I'm more comfortable, and it's really hard, when a straight, I don't want to say that, but it's really hard when a guy comes in and we don't have anything in common. We're not we're not on that same wavelength per se. I want to keep what I'm saying very professional, but there's obviously a difference between me and most of the guys that walk into Buckle. So it's really hard to relate and make a conversation. Also, I get a little nervous, but on Sunday when I worked 12 to 5, I actually performed really well with the guy side, and because I slowly figured out that you have minimal effort. Girl side, you really got to talk it up, sell it, add shoes, add tops, add in jewelry, throw everything in the mix, belts, everything. But with guys, it's want a pair of jeans? Cool, what's your size? What do you like, boot cut or straight? You grab the jeans. Here, try these on for me. Let me know what you don't like about them. The conversation with the guy side is so much more simple than it is with the girl side. So I think I was just nervous because I thought I had to outperform, but in fact, you have to underperform with the guys. They like that better. But I want to ask more questions on how I can be equally as good on both sides and maximize those profits for both sides. So I'm just not hugging one side rather than the other. So yeah, that was my week 6. It was a great week. Like I said, I closed for the first time. I had a lot of good sales, a lot of good connections I made with people. and which is really great. I make 3% of all the commissions from my sales. So I make like every shift, I'll make like an extra 30 to 40, sometimes like $20. So that's really cool. But other than that, yeah. Bye.